Finally, spring has arrived, with the daytime temperatures allowing the soil to dry out. The Wagner Group is trapping itself near Bakhmut. Across the front line, occupiers are starting to feel the effects of a shortage of ammunition. This is What About Ukraine channel, day 380, March 10th, 2023. According to the spokesperson of the East Command, Sergei Cherevati, most of the Wagner soldiers have been killed on the Bakhmut direction. He stated that the group has suffered significant losses and it can be said that the majority of them have fallen on the Bakhmut fields, adding that the infamous story of the Wagner soldiers will soon come to an end. A lot of tragedy happening around Prigozhin itself. It seems like he put everything he had into battle map in Ukraine with his so-called army of mercenaries. We'll see how it will end in the nearest weeks. It has been a long time since weapons have been used from Belarus. Shahids were used a few months ago. They went along the Dnipro towards Kiev, but were shot down on the way there. Now the Belarusian airspace is no longer being used, said Yuri Ignat, a spokesperson for the Air Force Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, adding that even missiles like S-300 and S-400 are being fired by the occupiers towards the Kiev region from the Russian territory. And about other news, another unsuccessful development of Russian engineers. If you remember, the Russian coke cages was engineered to stop Ukrainian javelins. Just look at these pictures. One of the two promised Patriot air defense system was delivered to Ukraine, but isn't operational yet. Both Germany and USA pledged to each deliver one Patriot system, and the Netherlands promised to send some launchers for the Patriots. And now let's take a look on battle map. Here we see that all front line doesn't have any changes for the last day, but a lot of active battles still continue in Kupiansk, Svatove, Liman Kreminna, and Avdiivka directions. Dozens of news also coming from insiders from Russian side. A lot of people are saying not only that they do not want to go into battle, not only that they many are thrown into battle unprepared, but also the lack of ammunition and shells complicates offensive operations due to lack of artillery support in some directions. But of course, the main focus of all world is now on Bakhmut direction and a lot of thoughts coming from a lot of sides and people. So let's take a look on the report that we have from one of our friend from the front line in Bakhmut area. In the latest report, we found that there have been no serious movement on the front lines for 2 weeks, and the enemy is unable to encircle the town of Bakhmut. On source in the city mentions that their side is conducting stabilization actions, including small local counterattacks to push the enemy back on the roads leading to Bakhmut, which are heavily shelled by the enemy. You can see on pictures intensity of for half of year battles. He also adds that the American equipment is helping them to transport supplies and personnel, especially Hummers, despite the difficulty caused by the enemy's shelling. They also mention that the Russian mercenaries recently captured the village of Dubovo-Vasilievka north of Bakhmut, but the Ukrainian defense forces have a strong defense along the Bakhmut River and around the city, which is difficult for the enemy to cross. He concludes by saying that they have their own tactics and strategies and will let the enemy make their moves while they stretch themselves thin like sausages, and then the enemy will have to contend with the Ukrainian defense forces for months to come. Missile attacks can no longer cause such damage as before. Ukrainian energy workers have learned to resume their work much faster. Spring is coming, very early spring, with very early warming, which is why the heating season ends. Attempts to intimidate the population of Ukraine have ended. Now is the time for Ukraine to make its move. And Ukraine will do it in 2-3 weeks. Thank you to all the soldiers whose steadfastness and perseverance are destroying the occupier's army in Donbass. Eternal memory to all those who gave their lives for Ukraine. Don't forget to smash like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave your comments below the video. To support our channel, there is also some links in the description of video. Stay tuned, stay safe. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!